addressed by this book isn't only learning to think, but thinking to learn. To elaborate, there is an uncomfortable question I like to ask people from time to time. What ideas did you learn during your pre-university education that are important in your life today? Some people have a hard time identifying much beyond a list of facts, but others report knowledge they have found to be tremendously important to who they are, how they understand the world, and how they behave. For instance, I recall one person mentioning the French Revolution, not for its details, but for how it had served as a lens to look at conflicts of all sorts. I remember another person discussing ecological understandings that influenced substantially not only what policies the person supported, but the conduct of everyday life. In general, when people bring forward themes that have mattered to them, they mention themes to think with, not just themes to think about. Think with the French Revolution to understand other conflicts, or think with your ecological knowledge to revise some of your everyday behaviors. Thinking with is two important steps beyond just knowing information, the focus of far too much education. One step beyond is thinking about a topic, often interesting and valuable, but in itself leading toward rather specialized understandings. When learners get comfortable thinking with the ideas in play, those ideas become far more meaningful. Horizons of application open up. Everything from managing everyday relationships or making a smart purchase to making sense of global warming on a personal level. The place of thinking about and thinking with what is learned gives us a second reason why making thinking visible and related themes are so important to learners. Back to that park bench one more time. In the complex, conflicted, and sometimes precarious world of today and tomorrow, the better people think about and with what they know, the more likely they'll be able to make sense of the half-conversations we all encounter, and the more prepared they'll be to enter meaningfully into the whole conversation. David Perkins. Preface. In 2005, my colleagues at Harvard Project Zero and I had just finished a 5-year project exploring how to cultivate thinking dispositions in school settings. The project, Innovating with Intelligence, unfolded at Lumshaga Academy in Sweden, with the financial backing of the Carpe Vitam Foundation. Drawing on a long line of research on dispositions and enculturation, we developed a set of thinking routines, simple strategies for scaffolding thinking that were designed to be woven into a teacher's ongoing classroom practice. These routines formed the foundation of our intervention and became the core practice of an approach we eventually called visible thinking. We documented our efforts and presented a set of initial routines to the world via a website, www.pz.harvard.edu/vt. Almost immediately, the website became a hit with the teachers with whom we had been working, as well as a valuable resource for our colleagues and ourselves in our ongoing work. Teachers who had been involved with Teaching for Understanding saw the thinking routines as short understanding performances that enhanced their efforts with students. Colleagues Shari Tishman and Patricia Palmer found them useful in supporting an initiative, Artful Thinking, focused on arts integration. Faculty at the Harvard Graduate School of Education found them to be useful tools for actively engaging students with complex ideas. Some colleagues even used the routines as structures for reflecting on and writing about the ideas they were developing. Facilitators at our annual summer institutes gravitated toward the routines for supporting adult learning in much the same way they might use a protocol to structure a professional discussion. At the same time, David Perkins, Mark Church, Karin Morrison, and I were beginning the Cultures of Thinking project at Bialik College, a pre-K through grade 12 independent school in Melbourne, Australia, with the financial support of Abe and Vera Dorovich. We felt that thinking routines would be a good starting place for teachers to begin their own thinking about the forces shaping classroom culture. Although our broader goal was to focus teachers' attention on the issue of developing a culture of thinking, we had noticed in our earlier research that as teachers worked with